Ben, we have more than a quorum if you need to scoot out.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, I'm gonna skip this one this week, guys. Thanks.
Very
Okay.
good. All right, thanks, Ben. All right, bring the meeting to order. Attendance. Mary Longacre.
Here.
Emily Molden.
Here.
Judy Deutsch.
Here.
Woodbourne here. Dave Shampoo here. Charlie is reporting. All right. Everybody had a look at the agenda. Do we have a motion on approval?
I move.
Second?
Second.
Favor? Okay. Charlie has sent out the minutes of the last meeting. Has everybody had a chance to look it over? Do we have a motion on approving the minutes of the last meeting?
Motion to approve with the date change that I sent Charlie in an email.
Yep, yeah, excellent. Thanks, Mayor.
Yeah,
Did you
it's dated
misstate
the
it?
5th, right?
No, I was dating it like I was writing the minutes for this meeting, so I had our next meeting is
I understand.
October instead of September.
All right, so we got a second, all in favor, so.
Aye.
All right.
Aye.
Any announcements, Charlie?
No, nothing
Okay.
new. Stuff we can get into during the business, but yeah.
Nobody's here to comment. All right, let's get into old business. I think we'll talk about Back Street, the Chinese Elm. There's been a removal request by the owner, Madeline Castor, is it Caston or Castor? Anyway, has everybody had a chance to look at the tree?
Yes.
Yes.
Comments?
Well, I already mentioned, the tree didn't look to me like it was impinging on the roof that badly. Not a tree expert, but it didn't, and it looked healthy. I
Yeah.
thought it looked like a healthy tree. It didn't look like it was dying and rotting and in danger of falling.
Dale has done extensive roof clearance on that tree. I mean, it's been kind of a squeaky wheel over the years because of the lean of the tree.
Mhm.
And it's, there's that absolutely, other than maybe a few stray little branches, it's pretty clear of any kind of vegetation.
I noticed that the insurance company's letter that the homeowner submitted did not mention the tree. It complained about the condition of the roof. And
And there was
that's a separate issue than the tree.
Yeah, I mean, it's the roof that roof is probably facing north. It's got the moss on it. And that normally grows on the north side of roofs anyway. I mean, must be is it wood shingle roof? I didn't really look, but
I don't recall, but a lot of times that mold is associated with tree growth and you can just hit that with wet and forget periodically and all that stuff should slough off.
Yeah.
A very gentle power wash.
I think it was asphalt shingles, but if that gets stuff on it too,
doesn't-
I mean,
yeah, that'll get stuff.
I had washed my house this year because it was.
But I see
It's like cleaning out your gutters. It's regular maintenance you have to do. And you can't blame the tree if you don't clean your gutters,
I mean, Dale and I have looked at that extensively, and I mean, if that tree was in danger of falling over, as the owner says, I mean, there would be root upheaval on the street side of the tree. And I see none of that. That tree's been over like that for years. I mean, it's rerouted itself, whatever happened to it. Hey, Scotty. Hi. George. Hi, George. Good. Gordon's new on the tree crew. And is joining us with Scotty today. And Jordan used to be with Bartlett Tree, so we want to have some discussion with Jordan about some of his ideas today. So we're right in the middle of discussion about 18 Back Street right now.
Okay.
Just listen in and get any comments on it. Feel free to chime in. All right, so where were we just now? We were talking about, the history of the tree. So I mean, I'm of the mind that it's in good shape. There's no reason for that to come down, for my.
Agreed.
What's that, Mary?
I'm agreeing with you, Dave.
Yeah, good. Emily, any comments? Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I think my impression was that certainly the base of the trunk has a lean to it, but I was a little surprised at how upright the main branches on the tree seem to be. So I sort of was expecting to see more of a lean over the roof, but as you have all commented, that doesn't really seem to be the case, probably because of the extensive work that Dale has done on it. I also agree that I think washing the roof periodically could probably help them quite a bit with maintenance and upkeep. I mean, the only question I had was, again, it seems like there's already been a lot of care and maintenance provided to that tree. Is there any additional pruning or limbing that might help some more light come through? I tend to agree with everyone else's sentiment that the tree's not in a position where we would want to take it down, certainly. And I definitely look to Dave and Dale to some extent about the health of the tree. And it sounds like you guys feel pretty strongly that it's in good condition. So that was my only question, but otherwise I tend to agree with everyone else's comments.
We can give it the heavy pruning this winter. You know?
Yeah, but I
It
don't think,
takes some weight up.
I don't think it really needs it. I mean, it looks
Well,
like.
not heavy, but like a,
Yeah.
you know, regular pruning.
Yeah, I don't think we gotta do anything other than what would be in the normal rotation of tree pruning.
Yeah.
On a schedule. I mean, the tree doesn't present to me any kind of danger.
Exactly. Dale and I looked at the tree earlier in the week. And we determined that there's a couple branches that could come off the backside, but not necessarily. And then maybe a general canopy density reduction. Just, you know, throughout normal trees, that's how we do things.
Sure. Yeah.
But other than that, I don't think anything substantial needs that.
So, for sure.
And the
So-
only other thing I would add was just echoing, I think it's really important, the point that Mary made, that the letter from the insurance company certainly didn't mention the tree specifically at all. So that's another good point.
I mean, the owner makes this, you know, that her comment about her rental history is a problem with the tree lean, you know, I mean, that's one of her excuses to remove a tree, so.
That's not our responsibility.
It's not. All right, so I think we're all of one mind on this. I think we can, if we can draft a letter, Charlie, to the owner and tell her, you know, that we want to see the tree saved. And if she wants to proceed ahead with the hearing, we will schedule it. But you know, it will be pushed back at the hearing, and we'll eventually essentially have to go to the select for a fine. So hopefully she'll withdraw the request.
If she looks at all the neat and tidy for the rental situation.
Well, we can't do anything about it right now, and Elm's this thing we have, so. All right, I think we're good. We're all good with that. So let's move on to some of the other things I've got on the list. Beach leaf disease update. Jordan, Scotty, have you been taking a look at the town-owned beaches at all? Have you?
So I haven't had a lot of time necessarily with the tree division just yet.
Yep.
But when I was still working with Bartlett Tree.
Yep.
We were seeing it, seeing where it was. Most of it was isolated cases up to this point, nothing really broad and widespread.
Okay, that's good.
But as far as getting into actual town-owned trees, I can't speak.
Yeah, there's a couple of them. There's one. Yeah. Like Lily, you know, where the Lily Pulitzers and over by the Nantucket Bank on Marsh Street. There's a big, both of those are good size. Those are the only ones we know of. Other than, well, yeah. Fifth milestone, fifth milestone, where the parking area is, those are town trees too.
Yeah, they seem okay.
Yeah.
That's how I saw.
What do the symptoms look like?
So the symptoms for beech leaf disease are going to be tip dieback. So in the very tops of the trees, you're going to see defoliate faster. The actual canopy density itself is going to be thinner. And then to truly be able to diagnose beech leaf disease, you have to look at one infected. What's called interveinal chlorosis. In between the veins of the leaf, it'll be significantly darker than the rest of the leaf. It'll kind of look.
Circulatory problem that you can tell with the leaf maybe.
So with the leaf itself, it'll look like an old barber pole, where you have white and red and white and red. Whereas it'll be like a vibrant light green and then a really dark, deep green, you know, and it alternates throughout the veins of the leaf. And then the other true test is put it under a microscope and look for the actual beetle or nematode, so to speak, itself.
Sounds like you got some background educationally.
Absolutely. I spent,
Where'd you go to school?
I did not actually. I learned all of this in the field under Jim.
Jim, well, you had a good teacher.
Jim at Bartlett, yeah, he's wonderful.
Yeah.
But I spent 5 years with Bartlett Tree.
Yeah, okay, great. That's great to have you aboard.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, tree mapping. Where are we now, Charlie? Anything?
Well, so we're somewhere in what, the 600s, the medallions out
Yeah,
and up.
Yeah. around it.
You had the initial conversation with the WPI students about their project. Follow up, Drew and I with them on Monday. They'll be out on island, I believe it's middle of October to start. So we're going to get them the data that's already been collected so they can kind of go through and then give them the sheets that Scotty and Dale have been putting together, tags, fill in the gaps that are missing anywhere downtown, and then expand outwards, and kind of go from there. Emily, I'm going to give them probably your contact information so they can talk to you about the GPS gimbal stuff, and then I think they're gonna put together as part of their program a whole plan on how to best get everything into a GIS layer and create, from there. So it's moving forward.
Yep, good.
Yeah. Charlie, if I could just ask, do you think that they'll be able to make use of our equipment? Is that what you think they would be looking for?
I think so. Yeah, if they were able to use it, I think that would be great. That way, so the same equipment that kind of captured all the first the info, it gets all that way. The data is also all the same.
And do I recall from last month's discussion about this that Will Delurba might be available to help with sort of training them or going through the protocols with them? Do you think that's possible?
Yep. Yeah, I think Will's going to be available, and then of course Dale, Scotty, and Gordon will also be out there helping if we need them.
Great.
They start the GPS faster than we got medallions on trees. So
I posted on Facebook a picture of the old tag and the new tag, and letting everybody know that the new tags were going up. And there were half a dozen or so positive comments, people saying they'd noticed, they wondered what it was, saying the new tag was so much nicer and better. So that was really great to see. And I sent I think a screenshot of some of the comments to Charlie and Dave.
Yep, it's good to see some feedback on social media, but on this whole thing, it's great.
we are gonna remove the old ones.
Yep.
Some way, first we're gonna put the new ones on, then remove the other ones.
Now, none of them have gotten stolen so far, correct?
Stolen?
Like the new tag, the
The
new
new
tags,
ones?
it's harder.
Not so far. We haven't
I
seen
don't
any.
think so.
Good, well, that's,
Oh, yeah,
that's
that's
good, that's good, because the way you're fixing them is, it's making it difficult to.
So- Can I jump in? I would not remove the old tags at all. First, it's time to do that, but that old tag, if it has a number, if that number shows up in any record from the last 50 years, having that tag on the tree helps verify that record. And, until we've satisfied that we have a full, robust database, which will probably be never, I would leave the tag on the tree just as an additional record that links everything together. I wouldn't take the time to take the old tags off.
Everybody in agreement with that?
Yes.
Okay. They stay. We'll think about them as metals on the,
Some of them don't have them because they've fallen off of us.
Yeah, right, I know that.
Well, that's actually another good point, Dave, is that, those old tags identify trees that were at some point in the past verified as town trees, and that's a valuable piece of information.
Yeah, those date back to the Nantucket Tree Commission. But here, before that, I think this dates back to the late 40s, early 50s. So I don't have a second, so. Speaking of trees, Emily, did you ever take a look at that Franklinia?
Darn, no, I totally forgot to. Thank you for reminding me. I will.
It's still in bloom. It's still in
Okay.
bloom. Now, I remembered whose house this was too. It was Arnold Vollmer's house. You ever meet Arnold Vollmer? He was a landscape architect that lived here. He was involved with a lot of stuff in New York City. I think he worked under, who was the redevelopment czar in New York? No, it wasn't Levitt. Starts with an M. That was his name. Moses, Robert Moses. Yeah. He worked under Robert Moses. Arnold was an interesting character. But I doubt if he planted the tree, but I know he was always in, I don't remember that tree ever being there in his house, but that goes back. So. Anyway, it's in bloom right now, something interesting.
But this person.
It's on
Well,
Trader's.
with today's weather, it may not be in bloom tomorrow.
I was just thinking I better go like as soon as I leave here this afternoon before it rains too much more.
I mean, that would be a really interesting little, because you can walk up Trader's Lane and it's an easy enough, you can just stop right there and there's a Franklinia, which is, you don't see them that often.
We have
So
some
Trader's Lane next to the church, right, Dave?
temporary.
What's that, Mary?
Trader's Lane next to the church off
Yeah.
Main Street?
Right, going up, it's 88, I believe it's 88 Main. And it's up the side street, planted along the side. It's right there, it's
cool.
I took I had my daughter with me, and I just reached out the window and one of the things was in bloom, so I took a whiff of it. It's pretty nice, Yeah, in the Carolinas, that's where they found it. I mean,
Yeah.
but
But they're still not incredibly common.
no, well, it doesn't exist in the wild. It's all cultivated plants now. Interesting tree. All right, anything else on tree mapping? No. West Creek Elms, nothing,
I wouldn't hear back from the tax office.
nothing
Haven't heard anything from,
the tax office, okay.
yeah, I reached out saying, what's the proper procedure, how to do this,
Okay.
I just haven't heard back yet.
I mean, the for sale sign's still up on the property, so we'll see. Stump grinding contract.
That is all sorted out and awarded to, You have to have a yard guard and Pathfinder is the secondary.
Okay. And Pathfinder is here too, or not?
They're based off island.
But yard guard is the primary.
They're the first phone call. If they can't do it, then the call goes to Pathfinder.
Well, I'm glad that it's a local company that's
Yeah.
gonna do the work, and then we can get going with tree planting. So yeah. Perfect. New business. Everybody should take a look at some of the new trees I think that we're gonna put on the tree list on Warren Street. There's two real good-sized catalpas. It's a nice ride up Warren Street anyway it's I think one of those hidden gems on Nantucket. And there's two, you can see them as you're coming up the street, the two catalpas that are on either side of the street. And Dale is, I think both of them are essentially on town, within the town right away.
We tagging.
And they're both tagged out, but good. Well worth it. And speaking of catalpas, the one well, it's not wood, but the one on York Street is doing okay, much to my surprise. I thought it'd be dead by now. Just all the use that thing took. It's ridiculous. Did Bartlett ever prune that tree or not? I know.
I don't know if anybody.
Yeah, it looked like they did something. I really don't
To my knowledge, no.
know. Because Jim was supposed to, I thought he was under contract to do that.
I mean, maybe once.
Yeah, no.
not really.
No.
How did the catalpas get out here? It seems like sort of an unusual tree.
Well, the history behind the catalpas, at least some of the older ones, was they were a giveaway when it wasn't Gimbals. It was
Isn't it the Gilchrist Company?
the Gilchrist stores, right? in Boston.
Yeah.
When they opened up a new store, they gave away catalpas as kind of a promotional gift. And I think a lot of the older ones here are that generation, I think. Dates back to the 20s, I think.
Because I grew up down in Fairfield, Connecticut, in the beach area there, the big old catalpas there.
Oh, yeah, they're tough. They're tough trees. It's they have a low water content. I mean, they have hollow stems. They're kind of like ash or lindens, they do well in the wind, in my experience. And yeah, great tree from Nantucket. I always thought them as weed trees before I moved here, but now they have my attention. I remember we did a landscape project at a mall. This is back in the late '60s, and the landscape designer at the company I was working for was spec'd on this job. I said, catalpas, what are you planting catalpas? I've changed my mind. Some of the ones that are here are just some of the nicest trees in town. So
Yeah, there's a good sized one on the right of Pulpus Road as you're heading back into town. I don't know if it's between Slow Six and.
Yeah, right after
Allen.
Shimon, yeah.
yeah, the one that's in the woods there.
Yeah.
Now that's a volunteer, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, they can be invasive.
Seems out of place.
They can be invasive, but that's where a lot of them have come from. Because they are prolific like that. I don't think they're on the invasive species, right? No. So, and I hope they aren't, because it is a good tree in Nantucket. All right, Mary, you sent a picture of that horse chestnut by the Town Information Bureau.
Yeah, I'll put it up on the screen. So you should be seeing the picture that I sent.
I think we planted that during, during that free tree program. And this is kind of a good segue into another discussion next. But I think we've got trees, I mean, horse chestnuts suffer in the winter, in the summertime anyway. And
It
that's,
doesn't look happy.
it's not happy, but it's probably one tree that might benefit from the water bags, because that's the only way I think we could actually water something like that. Or we cut bait and plant something else there if it continues. That's looking at the tree, kind of right now. Or
Yeah, this was a couple, this September 7th or 9th, something like that. So
I'm wondering, is that all dieback that we're seeing, or is that?
Mostly dieback.
Is it?
It's been like that for a while.
Okay,
So
so
my question is, what are the leaves? Because horse chestnuts get a blight.
yeah,
beginning of
they do.
July.
They get that marginal leaf scorch and
Yeah.
that blight that affects them if and of course the town doesn't spray.
Oh, it is.
So but water helps.
Mhm.
So one of the questions I had on this was, if you look at the base, I might be able to zoom in a little bit. Give me a second here. Shoot. It's got a very tiny planting box.
Yeah,
That should be way bigger.
Yeah,
that would help it get water naturally.
Then you get the issue of
People on the side.
people on the sidewalk. Although
there is the planting bed next to the building, and I wonder, I mean, I know it's a high traffic area because that's the bathroom entrance there, but I wonder how much we could marry that planting bed with the tree box to give it some help.
I think we could.
Like they have on this other tree behind it, they've extended the planting area out to the tree.
Yep. That's a what's that, a pear right there, Scotty?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it is.
Looks like a Bradley, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
The other thing is compaction.
Yeah.
Because of how high traffic the area is.
Yep.
It might be a leading cause in this
Yeah.
situation, I think.
We planted another horse chestnut on School Street
Mhm.
during that tree planting. I think that's still there. I haven't looked at it lately.
You barely even go up there.
Yeah, I know. Again, there's another really obscure street.
Yeah.
So as far as I know, that one's done okay.
Yeah.
But this is not, doesn't have traffic like this. But I think, if we do try to maintain this street, because I think it has some historic value. Watering it with the water bags in the summertime would be good, and any other thing that's.
Well, I mean, I don't know how possible this is, but I noticed there's nothing planted in these dirt areas. So what if we were able to extend that and plant a few bushes to stop people from walking through and put in a soaker hose, this could be a very nice little spot in town, and that tree could get a lot more help.
I mean, we're not really taking away, we're just taking away a shortcut there.
Yeah.
There's plenty of room in the sidewalk, I think.
Right, there's no disability access through this little space or.
All right,
yeah.
well, let's see if we can, expand that bed, maybe make a L shape around it that you still sort of have access off of that door, but a little waiting area if that's necessary, but off of the splash guard out and.
I'll mention that to Nikki, because he
Yeah.
has brick guys.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, something probably bounce that through Drew and all.
Yeah.
First, but yeah.
Gonna play the devil's advocate, that's just a really high traffic area, everybody coming down.
Yep.
Up for Water Street to get to the restroom and all of that.
Yeah.
So I definitely wouldn't push a bush or anything to impede
Right.
anybody.
And they're usually in a hurry.
Yeah.
Cut the corner.
And then would a little bit of gravel work there
Yeah,
instead of
yeah,
mulch
just-
there?
yeah, that get kicked around. I think just planting, but, you know, larger planting, something that'll sort of cast iron there. Good. I mean, it would dress up that place a little bit anyway.
Yeah, it's been on my list to try to do. It's just,
It
there's no
is-
great
I
access
mean,
to water.
that's a welcome center. Yeah.
Yeah,
They have no outside water access.
yeah, there's no great access. We have to bring something in from like the memorial
Yeah.
at the other end of the building. And
Yeah.
so it's
You
one of the.
could easily run funny pipe along the, you know, that could be kind of right along. You could, I don't think it'd be a big deal. I think you could hide it.
Yeah.
But the memorial has irrigation.
Yeah, it was actually, we've got some work planned on the visitor center, the whole bathroom thing, which I don't know if we'll be, when we do it, if the walkway in between will get disturbed. Now it's when it was like, all right, well, this is torn up, let's, sleeve over there, so we can, snake some funny pipe down.
Yeah, I
Well,
think
thank you for considering it and all the good ideas.
No, it brought back another tree planting memory that I'd forgotten completely about, so. Is that what, this has to be in the NHD list, but some.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So it's got. All right, now I was saying a segue, now Mary, you sent a thing about a free tree planting program.
Yeah, the state, I guess, was funding tree planting in economically challenged areas. Sorry, I forget the exact term, but Nantucket does have census tracts that would qualify. I didn't research, deeply into how people got money and how they didn't, but whether or not the state wants to fund it, we could, as a town, fund it. We could look for nonprofit funding. I'd love to get a tree planting program, and I'm sure Vince Murphy would also, the sustainability officer for the town, based on him trying to apply for the grants to help trees. So, I'd like to see us put something together, and it would probably be work that we would have to do over the winter in order to do the actual planting or giveaway or whatever it is next fall. But if we're going to do it next fall, we need to get it going now.
Now, how would we go about? I know how, when I ran that free tree program for Walter Beinecke, the owner, the prospective owner of the tree was required to dig the hole, prepare a hole for the tree to be planted. So there was some connection to the tree. Equity, yeah. Sweat equity. That's what
Skin in the
for.
game.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then we would come along and plant the thing and plant the tree and guide as necessary. And then it was up to them to water them. Unfortunately, a lot of, there was never any kind of, like we did with the elms that were planted. There was no, what the slips that we got permission to plant on, there was never any of that. It was just a giveaway. They had to plant within the public vista, and that was pretty much the only requirement. And we would look at the spot if it something that looked like it needed a tree or should have a tree. So
here's the program, the email that the information that I had and I forwarded on. And so what they say is call us, we'll check your spot. We will plant them after we call dig safe. And Dave, that's probably a new wrinkle since 50 years ago when we were planting trees, is you need to call dig safe on all of these locations. I'm not sure it's in the town's best interest to tell the homeowner to dig a hole, because what if we tell them to dig a hole and they hit something?
no, that's true. That would be good point. Good
Yeah.
point.
And then for this program, the homeowner is required to water the tree And then there's a support hotline for questions. So that is interesting. But what I liked about it, again, it's public outreach to put municipal trees on private property, which is our best solution. I think if we look at Nantucket streets, we don't have good planting design for our streets. You know, the trees take sidewalk space. There's not much sidewalk space to begin with. We need to plant on private property, and it's a better spot for the tree usually on private property. But we need to have good documentation, and you know, we're moving in that direction. But the first thing we need to do is get the trees planted.
But it doesn't say with the stipulation that they become the town property.
This particular program, no. But I think it's
That's a bad
in our
wrinkle.
best interest for us, yes.
I think it's a bad wrinkle for any town or city in town, that's looking at doing this. And I see the other problem I see is who's gonna plant. I mean, I would think it would be a well-received program.
Well, I think that's where the state funding made this possible. So the website is maurbancanopy.org. So it's probably some kind of, you know,
If there's,
nonprofit or.
sure, yeah.
I think that, you know, depending on how many trees per year we're looking to do too, you know, say if it's, let's start out pilot program with
Yeah, you start.
five trees a year.
Yeah.
We could probably handle it in-house.
Yeah.
And then, you know, and if it grows, you know, then, you know, grow from there.
I mean, the arbor department is planting trees anyway. I mean,
Mhm.
Hopefully a lot more than we planted.
Yeah, we're planting one next week, actually, on
Good.
Broad.
Good.
And you did the one on South Water?
Yeah.
This week.
Excellent. What'd you plant?
Quonset cherry.
Looks dead because of the deer.
Heavily deer browse.
Yeah. Wait, where is it?
Corner of South Water and Oak Street.
And it's.
There was
and it's
the
been
hole
brou-
that was there.
Oh, and it's been browsed by deer there, or it was some.
No, so it was browsed between the purchase of the tree and the plant.
Oh,
yeah.
oh, so it was out here.
The day before.
On the trailer.
Yeah.
Wow,
They hopped up on the trailer and
wow,
they had a feast.
hungry. That's crazy.
And the deer are back, they're starting to move around again.
Yeah.
Browsing.
What other inventory did you get for trees? It sounds like they came on a trailer, so that sounds like it was more than just the Quonset cherry.
Well, we picked out one the other day from Broad Street.
Okay,
A sweet gum.
okay,
It's a nice one.
Good.
It'd probably be perfect right there, 'cause it's not too big.
Yep.
It's like upright.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's
so
cold.
it won't really be in the way.
Yep. Yeah, I think we planted that sweet gum about the same time we planted the horse chestnut there. The one that's right around the corner
Yeah.
by the memorial. Maybe that one.
Did anybody get a chance to see that where the whale location where removal had been done? Is a potential new.
I think that's on the list.
Yeah, it's where they just did the brickwork.
Right. Yeah. But that's got a tree going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But all the other stumps that are around town, then we can
Address
go,
those
I think,
first.
really go to town. All right. Good. Well, if we can get funding for this, I think it'd be a great step.
Dave, I wanted to ask about funding. So Martha Johnson Walters used to, you know, do fundraising for the tree fund. And I wondered if, I looked first at Community Preservation Act money, and tree planting doesn't fit nicely in any of the categories that they fund. But I wondered if maybe the Community Foundation, we could set up a tree fund there. And people could donate to it, or we could fundraise and direct donations to it. And that could be another way to get funding that doesn't have a lot of paperwork involved
Yep,
to support the trees.
Let's explore that. I think it's great. Yeah, let's
So
do it.
I'll reach out to them and see what is involved in that. But I know the Island Fair, for instance, just set up a fund at the Community Foundation. But I also know that Island Fair also became a nonprofit, so I wasn't sure that if we would need a nonprofit in order to have a fund. So there's still some logistical details to find out there. But
I think that's a great idea to explore, Mary. And I know, I mean, the Community Foundation also has grant opportunities, but I don't remember the specific guidelines. So at the same time, and I don't know if you have to be a nonprofit to apply for their grants, but I wonder if a program like this could even fall under the umbrella of some of the grants that they offer. But I think it's a
just
good
within
idea.
the second fund, yeah.
Yeah. And I also love the idea of setting it up at least as a pilot program in its first year with sort of a, maybe a limited goal, but something that can be easily and successfully executed, just to kind of be a demonstration of how it could operate.
Good stuff. All right, okay, so we've just talked about the fall planting, and that's well underway, so. All right,
Can I add
Yep.
another possible, the
Yep.
Steamship Authority parking lot there, I mean,
Yep.
we've been talking about that, it really looks like the Dickens, especially with this drought coming out.
Yep.
I don't know if we've got any ideas or plans, maybe some.
Well, we've-
worked on this winter, it's a tough area.
we've batted around a lot of solutions to the problem. We talked about planting a rather large elm at the end that the elms will grow up and have a nice canopy above the trucks. There's also a tree that we've used called Kindred Spirit Oak. It's a cross between a fastigiate oak and a swamp white oak. And it's got great characteristics. It'll live. I mean, it's tough. The ones that we planted here, we planted some on a job we did for Nantucket Island Resorts on that by the duck pond. That project that's there, and we planted screening between that project and the other crazy project that's right next to it, and the trees have done unbelievably well. They're in water all the time. I mean, they would be in water. Their roots would be in water. I mean, it's a great plant, and I think it would form a wall there, so you wouldn't even see the trunks. But they grow up. They're an upright growing plant. So that would be and they've got great wind resistant characteristics too.
Yeah, just to get something down there, I mean, it's our gateway, one of our many gateways to the island.
First thing people see.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But one thing I've noticed is that is definitely the toughest, as far as weather goes, it's the toughest environment that
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I have seen as an arborist.
Yeah.
And I'm quite surprised that anything isn't there at the moment.
Yeah, well, there's fastigiate English oaks.
Right.
There's one tough, but you've got two characteristics in that kindred spirit.
Right.
You've got the characteristic that'll grow in water, and it also has got wind resistance.
Which I think is key.
And it's key right there. It's a perfect tree with an exclamation point of an elm at the end there. I think it would be stunning. And I mean, we could still leave the English oaks that are there and just keep
Add to them.
It wouldn't take up any space.
Charlie, do you know who's responsible for the maintenance of those planting beds along the strip there? Because there's ragweed in them. I don't think they've been weeded all year. But there are perennials in there too.
Right. What happened to the woman that Annie that used to, do you know what I'm talking about? Have you ever met her?
I have not seen her.
Yeah,
around
you
at
know
all.
what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have not seen her.
Yeah, I don't know if she moved away but she used to take care of it.
She's still here. I think I saw her at town meeting the other night. I'm blanking on her last name at the moment, but
Any
She did
Camara?
used to. No, Annie Mendelson,
Okay,
I think is her last name. And she did used to plant stuff in there, but I don't know what. I haven't
Yeah.
spoken to her about it.
Well, I know, I know, the store owners along that stretch would love to see something happen. They've been campaigning it for years. And,
It'd be a great spot if, I don't know what the Nantucket Garden Club or something does, but since it's, I'm talking about perennials and weeds, sounds like garden club to me.
Yep,
Yeah, I mean,
yep.
it would be a perfect project for
Yep.
them to take on and maintain and get their name.
but it'd be nice to have something down there that you didn't even have to maintain,
Yeah.
I mean, there's no water available, but there is water in the ground, so there's.
What, yeah, I mean,
So the trees,
the trees are good, but I'm just saying if you wanted some,
but I mean,
something,
I keep it simple as possible. Mulch,
We have plenty of water bags.
and plenty of water.
Plenty.
Yeah.
The garden club did a great job with that perennial garden down there, at Saltmore Center.
okay, I gotta go look at
Yeah, they're
that.
getting
Oh, it's
in-
gorgeous, and, I think it's minimal maintenance.
Yeah.
And, they really did a nice job, and I'd love to see them get up, or somebody get up to Lincoln Circle up there.
Mhm.
Where it's been like scorched earth up there for years, and when I used to have some properties up there, I put extra mulch and soil around some of those roses, and it just gets burnt off every summer. It just takes a beating up there.
That'd be a good place for some trees too,
Yeah.
although I think there'd be pushback because of the views.
It is a town park.
It is a
Maintain
town
it.
Yeah,
I think it would help with the scorched earth thing too, get some trees in there. So it's not complete sun all the time.
The shade.
A little bit of shade.
I joke in Parks and Rec Commission to slap a playground in there.
Oh, God, on Easy Street, remember when they?
Talk about pushback.
They put the hill on
I'll
Easy
bet you
Street
did.
and there's benches.
New water garden for Emily, I think, would know about that.
Who did that park area along like Easy Street? That they,
the land bank,
what?
It was land
the land
bank.
bank.
yeah.
Because
It's their
that,
property.
that's sort of low maintenance. I mean, I looked at all the plantings in there, a lot of native things and rugosus and things that are pretty low maintenance, we're talking about.
They did a nice
Yeah,
job.
I think it looks
Yeah,
great.
it's,
I just was there the other day. I went, wow, they really nailed it.
Yeah.
no,
They
it's
did a great job.
well thought out.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Yeah.
So they get.
It had a lot of pushback because of the trees blocking certain homeowners,
Oh,
or
yes, well,
shop owners or whatever, it's Vista, but, I think it's been well received.
I think it's, people really are using it.
And the land bank was also involved in that other one where the Mad Hatter used, across the street, on Easton
New
Street.
water garden.
The
there.
what,
Yeah.
the rain garden, or I think it's a rain garden.
Yes,
Doing good things.
I just have one more little item, and I don't know if it's a tree committee issue or a DPW, but in the corner of the hub, the corner of Main and Federal, the area around the tree right there by the bulletin board, it's maybe 2 or 3 inches below grade of the brick. It's really dangerous, and I've seen a number of people stumble because it's like a little pit there. Whether we could get some soil or some mulch or some gravel to just bring it up flush. I've seen gals with baby carriages, I've seen seniors with wheelchairs. And it's just really dangerous the way it is. And it'd be a simple fix, just bring the grade up a little bit.
You don't want to be raising grade on trees. It's bad, that's the problem, trees grade.
It's the area so narrow right there. It's really
I don't know what,
Boy, it's.
we used to, I mean, a tree grate would be a perfect solution.
Not just grade, not
Yeah.
a grade.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You could put a grate
Yeah,
at grade
just make it all
level,
flush.
but if you
Yeah.
get a big,
Cause
the problem is that grates spent and never get removed when they should be. you know, and it causes further,
Just,
so.
you know, it's hard pan. I mean, the soil is there,
Yeah.
it's been so compacted over the years.
Yeah, it-
But the problem is, like you were saying, if you go too high with your soil grade, you can actually rot out. and
Oh,
kill
no,
the
no,
tree, you
I
know?
know about the multiple cannos, the whole
Mhm.
thing, but it's very dangerous right now.
Right.
It's like a
I
little
hear ya.
mini curve, and it's a narrow area in between the benches. And this lower area drops right off, and just to make that flush, something porous wouldn't hurt the tree, would it?
Did that, is that one of the areas that got re-bricked by Victor? That, is that?
I don't think so.
I think
I don't
Victor was
think so.
across the street.
Yeah, I don't know who that's,
The other side under,
yeah, I know they did Center Street, like all Center Street
yeah,
has been
yeah.
done. They're working around different areas.
Yeah, this is old brick, it hasn't been redone.
That I would think would be a good, maybe they're redoing something there, you know?
But I mean, in the short term.
Yeah, I don't know what's the solution.
I've broken an ankle.
I think a grade would be the best,
Yeah, grade would be the best,
because you're not,
but that's the English Oak that you're talking about, it's right on the corner,
Mhm.
right? So, I mean, that's, I mean, finding a tree grade that's,
I think we got one about that thick, the thick ones.
yeah,
I think we have some still. I'm not sure, but I can.
that might be a
I can
solution,
look.
the short term.
yeah, we can
Just
look
to
into
make
it,
it-
for sure.
Yeah,
I think it's
or
really
pieces
dangerous the way it
pieces
is.
of a grade.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Just,
Yeah, even if it's half of it,
Yeah.
it's from the tree back.
trouble is they get forgotten about.
Right.
Yeah, and it causes skirting, so. Anyway. All right. Anything else?
Dave, that discussion about the sidewalk reminded me, have we gotten any further on Atlantic Avenue with the two elms and the sidewalk reconstruction that the sewer department is eventually going to do? Because they're gonna be back at work pretty soon.
Oh, the big ones, I haven't, I mean.
We haven't heard anything.
We haven't heard anything about the redo on, because that's part of the contract.
I believe it was. I'm not sure.
Right, so that the idea there was to get easements from the landowners to allow the sidewalk to circle the tree on their property. Because that's what people are doing anyway, and so why shouldn't we just build the sidewalk to accommodate what people have to do?
Can we find it, so I think the first step is finding out who the homeowner is.
Right, one of those properties came up again, and I think under foreclosure, so it's an open question.
That makes it difficult, but I think it would be great to reroute the walkway. So,
Yeah, I'll talk to Tracy from the real estate office. Got her lane there. So we'll work on that.
Thanks, Charlie.
And one more thing, I was down in southern Connecticut last weekend, and there were a lot of spotted lantern flies, and I haven't seen any here.
nothing here, I don't think.
Very, very isolated.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I've seen a couple within my career at Bartlett, and then
And are
as
they-
quickly as they popped up, they went away, and I haven't seen them since or heard about them
Yeah.
since.
How about what's going on with any incidents of southern pine beetle?
I was
What's
gonna
going
ask
on?
that, yeah.
What's going on? Anything?
So far, we haven't heard anything.
Nothing new.
It's just, no.
That's.
Fortunately,
Surprising.
hopefully it was an isolated case, you know, out
Ranch
there.
pasture.
At Ranch pasture, yeah.
I think, well, I haven't really heard a season update, but just back to the spotted lantern flies. I know Jim Cook's the one who first texted me last year when he discovered them at a property, but as you mentioned, I haven't really heard about any sort of explosion of them or any great numbers of them anywhere. The southern pine beetle, I think the conservation groups are holding their breath a little bit to see what happens. I don't know that there's been a lot of additional spread or locations that popped up this summer, but they're definitely out here, so it could very well just be a matter of time. But I haven't heard of any other sort of mass spread of them in new locations yet this season. This
I'll
year.
have a meeting next, I'm gonna see her on Monday, so, I'll ask her then. How about Emerald Ash Borer? That's another concern. Anything out here?
No.
Nothing. We have one incidence of it. But I think I know how it got here. Probably firewood or something.
Nursery star,
There's,
fire.
I mean, that's probably off the lantern.
That's how the, yeah,
Yeah,
that's how.
how they got here. Yeah. That's how, I think that's how the,
99% of the,
the Mapatone got here with the beech trees too.
Yep.
So,
beach hedges.
yep. All right, I think we're good. We have a motion for,
Move to adjourn.
second.
Second.
See you next time.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.